Late Night Grin. Also, what does that name mean?
Folks, we're here. We're alive for our first show of the WrestleMania 41 weekend. I hope you all are doing well. I know that our usual host, our usual chief, is definitely having a good time considering he just watched an incredible match of the year contender between Butterbean and Minoru Suzuki. An incredible bout that I'm sure will be remembered in history for a very, very long time. But that's not what we're here to do. That's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to preview 14 matches across 2 nights, which should be a wild ride. And for said ride, I'm, of course, joined by a wonderful bunch of co-hosts, starting with my immediate right, my fellow young gun, Kaden Lee. How you feeling, brother?
Novi, I'm going to be honest. Today was like an extreme range of emotion. I want to like somber note, sending my love out to my friends over at FSU. School rivalry, obviously, with me being a Gator, but I have a lot of friends from MSD who go there, so I'm sending my prayers out to them. But doing that, and then also going through what can only be described as an all-time bad PR day by the World Wrestling Federation, that unfortunately had me pumping my fist and doing victory laps around Gainesville. So a lot of emotions, but I'm locked in. I'm here.
That's wonderful to hear. Very, very up and down day, I'd imagine. Chris Bordine, it's wonderful to see you. How are you doing, brother?
Much better than I was earlier in the week. Our water heater took a shit last weekend. Had to get that replaced. So that was fun. But it's all good now. Get to talk some WrestleMania with you fine gentlemen. And yeah, let's do this.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. Well, Kaden, you mentioned it. The WWE might not be able to keep their people under control, but we here at the Grin have been able to keep Bob under control this week. No PR disasters for us. Bob, how you doing?
I'm doing well, man. It's good to be here. Fed 5, looking good. Less British than usual, so that's a plus. Love to see it.
Absolutely. If there was a Brit here, come on. Oracle, yeah. I'm sure you've had a wonderful day scrolling the timeline, seeing all the happenings. How you feeling?
I'm doing okay. You know, I never would have thought that Colby Lopez would have been the person with the best PR mind.
No help.
But things happen. You know, shout out to Tyler Black for. He fucking sucks, but at least he's got a. At least he has a sort of a fundamental understanding of public relations.
Yeah.
These other guys. Boy, let me tell you. We should probably just get this out of the way, but the number one reason they're doing all this stuff is because, obviously TKO and UFC and right wing and all that other stuff. And WWE's trying to do the UFC thing. But I also think if you read between the lines, as many people have pointed out, the steam is fading away. The hot period that we've experienced from roughly the last 3 years is starting to fade some. And I think we might be in for an interesting road ahead in 2025. Hopefully, this has obviously been a build that we'll touch on. Not the most exhilarating WrestleMania build. Mm-hmm. They've had builds before where they've over-delivered and under-delivered in terms of the show itself. I'm reminded of WrestleMania 31, which had a terrible build, was a classic show, but then afterwards, WWE sucked again.
Yep.
They've also had instances where, WrestleMania 29 had a bad build, was not a good show,
Mm.
and then the TV and the stuff got considerably better over the next couple of months. So there's all sorts of things, that can happen. I mean, WrestleMania 30, all-time great build, all-time great show. Company turned to shit within 3 months. So all sorts of scenarios we've seen before, all sorts of things that could happen here. But we've got 14 matches to talk about, so I'll send it back to Novi so we can get started on this journey here.
I don't think that's
touch on that.
That's unfair. It will be in for an interesting summer. Maybe this will be remembered in history as a finale of sorts for the boom period. But before we get underway with our first match of night one, I would like to turn it over to a very orange Bob at the moment. I don't know
what is going on with the lighting here, but
but there's
what's
one
up,
thing
Bob?
you do know. There's one thing you do know, and that's if the people are enjoying this show, what should they do?
Go ahead and smash that like button. First time, so we're good.
That's
Odd numbers 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, etc.
Beautiful, beautiful. And for our first match of night one, I feel maybe we should start with something exciting. We should start with a little, I don't know, just a little excitement. I think that's the best word for it. The World Heavyweight title is on the line. Gunther is defending his belt against Jey Uso, Yeet, as many would say. This has been maybe the best build of all the builds. I'm not so sure. I mean, there's like one or two other contenders for that role, but this has been very, very inspiring. Obviously, Jey Uso, very over, very, very over. Oracle, what are you feeling about this match going in?
So obviously Jey won the Rumble, which was a shock at the time, and a really cool twist that they've, a twist is kind of an overused term in wrestling booking that a lot of fans kind of overuse, but this truly was
Prefer
one,
the term pivot.
Yeah. Pivot, yeah.
Whoa. Hold on now.
There you go. Yeah, a pivot. So I didn't expect that. I don't think a lot of us expected that. And it also came off, Jey winning also came off, a week after he just lost to Gunther again. So there was kind of some sourness there, even though everyone understood how over he was and whatnot, even if you're not a fan of him bell to bell all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But since then, they've done a really, really good job of building this. The promos have been good. Jey's, of course, super over everywhere he goes. The Yeet thing is, a hugely popular thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Cole yeeting is one of the most ridiculous things. I was at my brother's place earlier this week watching the Go Home Raw, and my brother just goes, "Please look at Michael Cole." And I was like, I didn't notice it first. And I looked and I was like, "You've got to be fucking!" And like he and I just could not stop looking at Michael Cole yeeting.
That man's rhythm, it's off. Something's wrong. I don't know.
But there was that couple of week build that really put it in, right? And that was about a month ago towards the end of the European tour when they had the Jey kept getting punked out by Gunther. He bought some spots and they turned it into a storyline and all that jazz. And then they had the backstage segment where Jimmy got in Jay's face and told him to man up and all this shit and slapped the taste out of Gunther's mouth. So they have a match the next week. It's the best angle they've done leading into Mania.
Easily.
Gunther beats Jimmy, beats the shit out of both Usos, handcuffs Jey to the ropes, bloodies Jimmy, wipes Gunther's, Jimmy Uso's bleeding all over the place. Gunther wipes the blood all over him. Just an unbelievable angle. Home run angle, out of the park. The last couple weeks, the promos where Jey has gotten more serious and Gunther's still this vicious asshole, but also a little bit perturbed by Jay's change of personality, I guess, or whatever.
Yeah.
I think this is easily the best build going into Mania. That angle with Jimmy getting bloody was just incredible. the one angle that I think we'll all kind of remember, especially if Jey wins on Saturday, is going to be that Jimmy angle. But yeah, this is a match that I think we're all probably looking forward to in one way or another. I think it will be good. I think Gunther at this point could pretty much have a good match with anybody.
Mm-hmm.
It might not be amazing, but it's going to be at least good, right? And it's going to be a hot crowd. I think it's going to be great. I think Jey will win, especially if it's going to open the show, which is what the rumors are. So I think Jey wins this one. I think they go, I think they go about 20, and Jey wins it, gets the big win, and starts the weekend off hot.
I think that'd be the smart call. I feel like you don't really book this match unless Jey is winning. Am I right, Bob?
Yeah, absolutely. And Oracle's right. It's been the best build easily. There were points of it because the Royal Rumble was almost 3 months ago at this point, where it's like it was kind of stagnant a little bit, but they did do a good job kind of bringing it back. And I'm really looking forward to it. I think Jey is going to win. I think it's a really good way to lead off not just the show but the entire weekend. As that's the rumor, I think it makes a lot of sense. And people online are going to be upset when Jey wins or whatever, and I do get it to an extent, but like he'll be fine. He'll have the title for a couple months, and I mean Gunther can always get it back or whatever. And it's going to be a good way to start the weekend. I don't have any concerns about this match or the build or anything, which you can't say that about this entire card.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my concerns are definitely not with this match or the result. I think they'll probably get both those things right. Maybe a little concerned after the fact, but that's after the fact. You deal with that when you deal with that.
The title defenses in the spring could be difficult depending on the opponent, but we're not
Could
going to worry
be.
about that right now.
Could be. We're focused on Mania. Let's just we'll keep it on this positive momentum. Caden, you were on air while we watched that amazing angle. How are you feeling going into this match?
I'm feeling really good about it. I've come around on Jey Uso, and I don't even know where I fully sit on him, to be honest, yet. But I just didn't really care, not much interest. And then I think it was later in 2024 I started getting into him, and then I was at Saturday Night's Main Event in January, and seeing that match with Gunther, the third match up close, and seeing Jay's reaction in the crowd, I was able to kind of get it a little bit better. Still and the company's admitted for some reason that he's not the greatest wrestler, but I think he's done pretty good. And he's added some things into his bag that has helped him a lot. So I think this match is going to be very good. I was checking their cage match to look at their other 3 matches. Every time they have a match, they go almost exactly a minute less than the one previously, which is pretty funny. I think this one will end up being around 18, 19 minutes, which is more close to the first match they had than the last 2. But yeah, I think opening the show is the right decision. Giving Jey the win is the right decision. The only thing that makes me a little doubtful on maybe they do decide to just have Gunther hold it is because I think we're going to see a lot of other titles changing hands in this show on these two nights. And I wouldn't be shocked if they go, well, let's not change the title on both of our men's world champs, because they did that last year.
Mm-hmm.
They could want to vary some things up, and then I was starting to think about Rumble winners, but Cody's the only Royal Rumble winner in the last few years who's even won the Rumble. I think you do actually that.
Yeah, I mean you're planting seeds of doubt, and I feel like those are the only kind of seeds you can plant on this front. Chris, do you buy into that at all, or you think Jay's definitely getting it done?
I think he should. I applauded the boldness of the decision to have him win the Rumble when it happened, and I've defended it all along. But that only comes with paying it off here at the end here. You got to have him win. You can't have him lose. So I think he is going to win. As has been stated, Gunther has good matches with pretty much everyone, but for some reason, I've always really enjoyed these two together, the 3 matches they've had prior. So I don't see any reason why this one will be any different. And so it's a good way to start off WrestleMania on a high note.
I don't disagree with any of that. Of course, we have Late Night Grin in chat. Dango says, like the fucking video. And if he's saying it, you have to you have to do it. I mean, it is what it is.
But to be clear, we wanted to be clear. So, Bobby, can you reinterpret that a little bit for us? So you can see, can you let us know what that actually means?
He said that you should smash that fucking like button. Which you did the first time, don't do it again. That'd be 2.
Mm-hmm.
That's not an odd number.
What about 3 times? Is that okay?
3's fine. 3's an odd number.
17 times, okay?
17 is fine.
Okay.
22 would not be.
To talk about later, but
What about 41?
41. There you go. That's another odd number.
A little excessive, but it works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you'd like, you can do it 41 times. I mean, it's up to you, truly. We may ask 41 times, considering there's a lot of matches on this card. So let's just run with the next one. This has been a late addition to the card, but one that I feel like has been brought on by a fantastic Naomi performance over the last little bit. Naomi versus Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill singles matches, not always the greatest formula. But I think Naomi is a very steady dance partner to be in there with. Bob, how you feeling about this?
Yeah, I think this has been quite good. I think they've both really done a good job with the build in this one too. I think Naomi, since coming back, was kind of all over the place, but since getting with Bianca, I think she's really kind of found a good role. And it's cool to have a women's non-title match on WrestleMania for the first time in 20 years or whatever it's been too. So I think Jade should probably win, just based on the story that they're telling. But, some people want her to come out and do the Ultimate Warrior thing and just kind of win in 90 seconds. I think that's going to be better served for another match on night 1, which I'll get into in a little bit. But, I think Jade's going to win. I think Naomi can kind of steady the ship there and kind of help her along. And I know the singles matches kind of are what they are, but you're going to have the entrance, you're going to have whatever gear you're going to have. So they're going to have, bells and whistles to kind of make it work. But yeah, I think Jade's going to win.
Yeah, I feel like they'll find ways to get through it. And like you said, I mean, like I mentioned before, Naomi, she's really fucking good. Mm-hmm. Chris, do you agree with it?
Yeah, I've loved this. This is probably as far as the actual build on television, this is probably my second favorite of the batch here. Naomi's just absolutely been killing it with her promo work these last few weeks, and I don't think you can. I assume Jade is going to win. I don't think you can have her run through Naomi because Naomi's done such a good job. I think there has potential for some backlash in that scenario. But you also don't want to probably want it going for too long, given Jade's experience. We'll put it that way.
Good word.
So I'll be interested to see how this one exactly plays out. But I think Jade probably wins. Though you could, depending on who comes out of the Tiffy Charlotte match, I guess you could have Naomi win and set her up as a potential challenger.
Yeah, that could be good coming out of the show. We have 2 people on the board here for Jade Cargill. Oracle, are you gonna score one for Naomi, or are you gonna stay about the same?
I'm picking Naomi to win.
Hell yeah.
In light of the issues that were reported very recently, as well as I kind of think when we talk about the later women's title match, I actually believe that someone else will actually win that match, not what some people fear. Although, you never know about that one. But and I think Naomi will steal a win here. I think Jade will kind of beat the shit out of Naomi for a good bit. I think Naomi will have a little bit of offense. She might like attack a limb or something. But I don't think it's going to go more than I think it'll go 7 minutes maybe. And I think Naomi's going to steal the win. And I think she might be the number 1 contender for Backlash.
Yeah, I think 7 minutes is a very safe time. I think that's we get all we need to get out of it at 7. Kaden, you're one to get all you can get out of 7.
That's insane. Man, fuck you. I actually like fully agree with everything the Oracle of Wrestling said. I think Naomi's gonna get the win here. I think it's a mixture of they need a challenger on SmackDown after for Backlash, or like if they don't even run on Backlash, get something for the next month or two. And I think Naomi's the perfect person to do that. Also, like as a way to reward her for how great she's been in this feud. Like Jade's been good as well, but I really think Naomi's like she's picked up the ball and ran with it and been fantastic for the last few months, I think. So I think that's something where they go, okay, well, you did really good here. We're going to give you this WrestleMania win as a little bit of a thank you.
Yeah, I think that's probably the right way to go as well. I think Naomi's gotten this to a point. She deserves that kind of spotlight on this show. So I'm going with Naomi for this one. But Kaden, I'm going to stick with you here for our next match because I did hear before the show went live, you were humming along to a tune. And I think it was the tune of El Grande Americano's theme. Who will be taking on Rey Mysterio on this show? Thoughts on this match going into it, brother?
All right. I don't even know what El Grande Americano's theme is.
It's a mariachi version of Stars and Stripes Forever.
Oh, fantastic. I think I've seen him wrestle because we watched one of his matches on one of the Raw Grin-alongs. I don't know if he's wrestled has he wrestled on TV since then?
Yes.
Once maybe.
I think he had another match. He's had two.
I didn't see that one then.
Sad.
Look, I think Chad Gable's a really good wrestler. I'm not going to do this bit. I think he's a really good wrestler. I think Rey Mysterio is like still capable of having very good matches. They're probably going to have a really good 10, 12 minute match that'll likely, let me look at this card. Yeah, it'll be like the second best match of the night, at least. Maybe best, honestly, depending on what Gunther and Jey do, but it'll at least be like one of the best matches of the night.
A lot of love. I could see. I mean, two really talented wrestlers. Oracle, do you agree?
Yeah. I wonder if this is where Bob's buddy is going to be sitting front row. Getting crowned with Ula Fala here. With the Gulf of America's very own El Grande Americano.
I have to wonder.
But yeah, this match is going to be very good. I think Kate's right on the time, but 10, 12 minutes. They could go either way with who wins this match. I think if they wanted to continue the program, I think Gable wins this one, and then they have like a match versus match later on in the spring. Or if they just want to end it now, Rey just beats him and like whatever. But I think it's more likely that Gable steals the win here with the help. There'll be LWO at ringside. There'll be whatever the hell Chad's group's called now.
American Made.
Yeah, American Made. Thank you. They'll be at ringside too. So there'll be some shenanigans there. But yeah, I think Gable steals this one. Probably uses the. They'll do some like trickery where like he has the thing in his mask, and then like the ref will get it, but he'll get another one or some goofy old school thing like that. That'll probably be the finish.
I think that'd be just fine for this kind of match. I do think this is kind of leading somewhere else with this. I don't think it's going to end here. Chris Bourdon, what do you think about this one?
Should be a decent match. I keep going back and forth on who I think will win. I think there's probably a lot of baby faces going over, specifically on night one. So I guess I would go with Gable winning. But I really could see it going either way.
Mm-hmm. It's another one of those 50-50 matches. I feel like the last two we've gone over is definitely in the air.
Because you figure if Rey wins, like you would imagine that's the end of this, and it feels like an awful lot of trouble to go through for such a nothing really. So
yeah. I think you have to do a mask versus mask at the end. I think there's no other way around that.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Good point.
I think Oracle, you're right about that. It's just Rey Mysterio has to beat him for his mask. I mean, it's the only way. Bob, I know you'd be throwing hands if that were to happen, but how you feeling about this match?
Yeah, I mean, again, should be a good match. I think the thing with Gable, like, if he does win, yeah, continuing it with Rey would make sense, but also kind of the whole thing started when he faced Penta, so they might go back to that. You know, if Penta does win the Intercontinental title, they could go back to that. But I think Mask vs. Mask for him and Rey makes sense too, maybe for Backlash or whatever. But yeah, it should be good. I do think Gable's going to win. You know, not clean, but he's going to win.
Yeah, and TNK does bring up a good point. It could be a big spot for Gable to win in on WrestleMania. He hasn't been crazy underserved, but definitely hasn't been given like the craziest spotlight either. So this would be a good opportunity to do it. I would kind of agree. I think El Grande Americano gets it done on WrestleMania Night 1. We have a continuing member for 7 months, Darren H. Bob, I went to like the video and I accidentally hit the dislike button. WTF do I do now?
Well, shit. If you don't like it. I hope that doesn't count.
That'd just be a damn tragedy if that were to happen. I'm pretty.
That in the future. I mean,
you're the expert, and I know that. But
Bob's genuine concern.
There was a lot, and I do want to kind of ease your fear. I do think you can unclick the dislike, but I don't know what that means for like the overall numbers. So just please be very careful when you're. Yeah, be very careful when you're hitting the like button. Be cautionary because you never know what could happen.
This one, not this one.
Yeah. Yes. That's good visuals. Just so you guys know. Thank you, Darren H. This could be a cautionary match. The World Tag Team titles are on the line. The War Raiders are defending their dinner plates against the New Day. The New Day have had a very interesting run since turning heel. Interesting is probably the kindest way I could have put it. Oracle, is there any kinder way that you could phrase that?
I mean, you know, first, I'm a fan of undercard matches on pay-per-views, you know, which is like something we never get ever anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But like, what the fuck is this match doing? You know?
It's still a point, you know.
The only explanation I can, and I, you know, just read the reaction. Someone said it on. I don't remember who it was. If I know him, and I can't remember, I apologize. But someone pointed out that the only reason it would make sense is if Big E comes out. Doesn't mean he's going to get physical, but comes out and cost New Day the match some way.
That was me in the Grin Grappler chat.
Was that you? Okay.
Yep.
There you go, Bobby.
There you go.
Yeah, that's the only you know, that's the only reason, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only reason. Otherwise, I don't know why this match is on this show. Because, you know, I mean, both tag divisions are shit. And, like, you know, what is it? Profits and Motor City would probably be a better match. Although, I mean, the SmackDown tag division's been having heatless matches for 4 months now. This match is, you know, it'll probably go on too long. It'll probably have no heat. But if Big E comes out and just interferes to cost a New Day, it'll get a huge pop. So I say War Raiders retain, and Big E costs a New Day. Doesn't mean he's going to get physical. He could just hit his music and get on the ring apron, or it could just mean physical is in. He throws a punch. You know, something as minor as that. I do think Big E helps War Raiders here and War Viking Raiders, whatever the fuck their name is now. I can't remember what their name is anymore.
The War Raiders is apparently it.
But yeah, this is like, to me, this is like the most WTF match on the entire weekend in terms, like, you know, why is this match on here? But I think that's the only explanation. And sorry, Bobby, I didn't realize it was you.
No, it's fine.
Well, that wasn't a backhanded burial, but only your buddy, you know.
Yeah, thanks, pal.
Of course. Well, I do kind of have to wonder if Big E coming out is enough to have this on Mania. I mean, I guess it is a pretty big deal. It's Big E, but like, I don't know about this one, Bob.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's very weird. Like, the Raw Tag division is quite bad, and again, like Oracle said, it's not the SmackDown division's better. It's a strange match considering some of the people that we're not seeing on this show.
Mm-hmm.
They could do, one of those gimmicks where Big E's on commentary. They like to bring out a guest commentator for every match. Just have him out there and go there. Like, again, it's the only way it makes sense, though.
Mm-hmm. It's
Right.
it's the only way you justify this. The only way.
Yeah.
How long is it going to go?
Yeah.
Can't go
that's the
long,
other-
right?
like 7 minutes. I mean, it's
Yeah.
It's a match
Like
you'd see on
9?
Raw. Like,
Yeah.
The Raw after Mania, maybe
Yeah.
that would have been a better spot for it. Yeah, I don't disagree. Kaden?
Yeah, the Raw tag division is bad.
Yep.
I think the Profits should be in this spot instead. There's better tag. I guess like, yeah, I'd rather watch like, I don't think DIY and Motor City Machine Guns are like incredible in the year 2025. I'd still rather watch them wrestle Street
Yeah.
Profits than watch this, to be honest, or like a ladder match or something. Do something interesting. Fuck. I'm sure it's like Big E is going to do something. Whether it's physical or not, I don't know. New Day probably not retaining. Viking Raiders, or sorry, not winning. I think War Raiders are going to win. You can tell the interest I have in this match. This will be like where I'm gonna need a break on Saturday. So this is like where I can go and
Yeah.
get like, I can recharge a little bit, take a little bit of a walk around the neighborhood, get my feet going, get the blood pumping a little bit. Good slot.
Well, 2 people on the screen have already given them the wrong names. They're old names. So I'm curious to see if you'll do the same, Chris. How are you feeling going into this one?
It's the War Raiders.
Wow.
Though they
Real
didn't
pro.
change their individual names back, which bugs me, but whatever. With all love, which all love to the New Day, one of my favorite tag teams of all time. This is the match where I will be locked in on Nick's Pistons on Saturday.
Game on, yeah.
And to be honest, I didn't even think about Big E until you all mentioned it here. My impression was the only reason why this match is on here is because there's going to be a title switch. So I'm just going to say New Day is going to win and get another kick at the can with the tag team titles. So
Yeah, it's either Big E or title win. It's the only way.
Yeah.
But I would definitely say that's the least interesting match, as Oracle said, across both these nights. But one that I don't think is very, very uninteresting, but it is. I'm curious to see how this would go. And I'm going to go to you first, Bob, on the United States title match. LA Knight defends against Jacob Fatu. Because you did mention a 90-second match. And I'm very curious to know if this is the one. Is this it?
Yeah, I think Jacob needs to just come out and beat the shit out of him and win. Because the thing is, like, Jacob's kind of cooled down a little bit. They clearly have big plans for him. I still think he's going to work Roman at some point. Like, you got to start doing something with it, though. Like, that Saturday night's main event, he beat Braun down pretty bad. Then Braun just came back the next week, so it kind of took some of it away.
Mm-hmm.
So, you kind of make a statement here. It elevates the U.S. title a little bit, too. LA Knight, people still like him. I don't know what more you can do at this point. Like, he started this whole thing in 2023 now at this point where, like, people got behind him and, you got to move on at some point. You got to pivot, if you will.
Wow.
So, yeah, I mean, I would have Jacob just come out and just run right through him.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad call, considering I think the crowd are going to have an interesting reaction to this one, because I'm not so sure they're going to cheer LA Knight over Jacob Fatu. He's been getting some loud reactions, and he's cool as fuck, so it's not really that surprising. Chris, how you feeling about this one?
yeah, Jacob Fatu should win. They don't usually do the squash thing like that. When's the last time they did something like that at Mania?
It didn't involve an injury.
Yeah, Joe and Ray were short, but yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, this should be crowning Jacob at this point and letting him run with the secondary belt for a minute and see how that goes. So
yeah, it's a more exciting option than LA Knight at the moment, I would say, just because it's Jacob Fatu, man. And I know, Oracle, you're a big fan of Jacob. So is that the route you want to see?
Yeah, I think Jacob's definitely winning. I like the idea of like Jacob just steamrolling LA Knight in 2 minutes or less. I think it's more going to be like 10-minute indie fest
Mhm.
where they just do a bunch of spots because like LA Knight even at 40 does like his springboard fucking elbow and shit, and like that's what the match is going to be. I think Jacob will win definitively, but that I think they'll get some time and Jacob will win the U.S. title here for sure. Although I sort of like Bob's idea better. I don't think that's the route they're going to take though. But I do believe Jacob will win and win cleanly and definitively.
Yeah, I'm afraid I don't think they have the guts to do a 90 second,
I don't think they do either,
my God. Yeah, 90-second swash, even though it'd be very, very cool. I do think they go about 10 to 12. They do moves.
Can we have Bob book? Would you be mad at our criticism, Bobby, if we criticized your booking? Would you be upset? Would you tell us to fuck off if we criticized your booking?
No, not at all. I'd be cool with it.
Well, thank God there's one good billionaire out there. I didn't think there'd ever be one. Kaden, where do you think this match goes?
Yeah, I think Jacob Fatu is gonna win this. I don't think I love Bob's idea. I think Triple H is a coward. Oracle brought up that he thinks like we're gonna see a certain man in Grande Americano versus Rey Mysterio. If you looked at Jacob Fatu's following list earlier today, I think we're seeing that man at ringside during this match.
Oh no!
Jacob made the call.
Made the call.
The US title. He's gonna get in there and he's gonna put the U.S. title around Jacob Fatu's waist. This is 100% what's gonna happen on Saturday.
So
100% what's going to happen.
So basically, what you're saying is that Jacob Fatu is gonna end wokeness.
Yes.
Got it. Just wanted to be sure on that front. I'm glad we all have the same vibe on this one. We're rooting for Jacob to be crowned. By who? I don't know, but be crowned for sure on this night. This is the one I've been waiting for. There's one I've been desperate to talk about. I mean, folks, it's the WWE Women's Title. It's Tiffany Stratton. It's Charlotte Flair. It's the Battle of the Blondes. I don't know who's gonna win this one. I'm not sure who has the motion to continue this, but Oracle, I think you can provide me with some insight.
Well, they had that all-time great bad segment a few weeks ago where everything just went off the rails. And
which one?
Oh well, the one where they both decided to wear the same outfit. What was up with that? They wore the same outfit. What the fuck was that? And,
the live one, not the side by side. Gotcha.
Yeah. I forgot about the side by side. So a funny story about the live one, where they decided to wear the same mesh fit black outfit like they're at a fucking funeral or something. Although I'm not sure you would want to see someone wear that at a funeral. But anyways, so I'm like, fuck this, I'm not watching this segment. So I go take a shower. When I come back from the shower, I come in my hallway to a corner. All of a sudden I hear Charlotte go, and you know what? Kaiser's in my DMs. I said, the fuck?
What the fuck happened?
Yeah, this is going to be one of two things, okay? Well, I've discussed this before on here, and it's either going to be somehow awesome. I don't think at any point it's not going to be some crisp, clean match. It could be the type of sloppy struggle match that Charlotte's actually really good at her best, where it feels intense and really hate-filled. Or it could be a total fucking disaster. Those are the two most obvious options. The third option is the most disappointing, which is that it's just this middling, boring 20-minute affair. I don't want to see that. Yeah. I either want to see something that's fucking awesome or like just absolutely atrocious that we can all laugh at. The middle option I'm afraid of. I fear it. Because at the middle option, I think we're all just going to be bummed out by it. I think Tiffany's going to win this. I think it's foolish to think that at the same time, I think it's foolish to think that there's like some people are just like super confident about it. I'm like, well, I mean, it is Charlotte. I mean, it's just one of like, just a few women on the roster who politic and my guess is Tiffany steals the win somehow, gets the win. Charlotte, no sells the loss on the floor like she does every time she loses. And they I'm reminded of the Mania 39 match where she sort of cried and laughed. It was very weird.
Yeah.
But this could be a total train wreck, totally awesome. I don't know. Either way, I'm very intrigued. I'm with you, Novi. This is I'm picking Tiffany here.
Wow.
I think Tiffany wins. But I mean, I wouldn't be stunned no. At this point, you don't be stunned when Charlotte wins a title. Of course, you won't hold it long. She'll just lose it next month, somebody. But that's just because that's how it goes. Mm-hmm. But I'm picking Tiffany, but I'm less worried about the winner, and I'm more concerned with what the match is going to look like.
Yeah, there's a wide range of outcomes, but it needs to be, like you said, either one or the other. And I know for a fact there's one person on this panel who is certain that Charlotte Flair will shine under those bright lights. Kaden Lee.
Yeah.
You said this to me.
Yeah.
What makes you so confident?
Look, Charlotte knows when it's time to turn it on. However, I kind of hope that this match is a complete shit show because I think it'd be really funny. It's got to be one extreme or the other. It's either got to be like match of the year contender or it needs to be just absolutely god awful. I am like very locked in. It's the match that like I don't think will be like the best, and I'm not like I wasn't the most excited for it, but like after all this, it's probably the match I'm most excited for out of all of WrestleMania, to be honest. I'm like really interested in what they do here, especially because it's like not the main event. It's probably not the opener. It's going to be like somewhere towards the middle. So I'm really intrigued to see what they do. Charlotte's probably going to I think Tiffany's winning. I think Charlotte's going to do the no sell thing. I think it's going to be more egregious though than the real one. Because she did at least like sell a little bit. I think she's going to do more of like Austin Aries and Johnny Elite or Johnny T, whatever his name was then. Johnny TNA Impact. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think it's gonna be more like that. Like she's gonna take the prettiest moonsault ever, and then just like get up out of the ring and go.
Think it's a stand. Is it a stand straight up thing or is it like a rollout?
No, I think she's gonna because she'll be towards the corner.
She's gonna roll and then like have her hands on her hip and then like.
I think she's gonna. Yeah, I think that's exactly what she's gonna do. I think she's gonna roll out, put her hands on her hip, have her head down a little bit, and just walk up the ramp.
Just straight up the ramp.
I think she's gonna go straight up the ramp. Yep.
Godly.
I think she's going straight up the ramp. That's the side. I think she's going straight up the ramp.
I mean, no matter how the match works out. I need to see that visual bad.
Dude, I need it. I need it so badly.
I need it bad.
I don't ask for a lot of things from Paul Levesque and the World Wrestling Federation. I need this. I really do.
That's an interesting way to phrase things. I mean, there's plenty of people who ask Paul Levesque for a lot of things. Maybe some favor for some of the Oval Office. Chris Bourdine. How are you feeling heading into this match, brother?
Kaden completely read my mind. I had the same thought about the Austin Aries ending. I'm interested to see at what point, because this is going to happen. They're going to have a point in the match where they're going to do something where the intent is to make us go, oh, whoa, are we shooting or are we working here? and how effective that will be. That's what I'm most interested in. But I'm cautiously optimistic that it will still be Tiffy time coming out of WrestleMania. But as has been said, that there's no assurance of that with Charlotte Flair around. So
yeah, I mean, that's a big shark. I'm not sure if Tiff Strat can handle all that, brother. I'm not so sure. Bob, how sure are you?
I hope Tiffany wins. I mean, it's like you guys said, you can never be too sure with Charlotte. Again, there's going to be something that happens where it falls apart, and it's going to be interesting to see how they recover from that. And I'm kind of hoping now that it's Caden's way. But yeah, I'm going to go with Tiffany. I think it's going to make SmackDown even more of a disaster if Charlotte wins. Like, Tiffany's the person that people like on that show.
Whew. Could you imagine the Charlotte Flair dealing with those NXT call-ups that are likely afterwards,
No.
brother?
Think about the Mania crowd booing Charlotte if she wins.
Well, hold on. Let's not get too hard on ourselves on how beast that would be. Hold on. Let's not go too far. I do have one question. Does Tiffany Stratton take any of Charlotte Flair's finishing or submission moves at any point in the match?
Yeah.
She'd have.
Oh yeah.
But then she'd have to kick out because we all think she's winning. I think she's winning too. She'd have to kick out or get out of the submission.
You do a natural selection on a foot on bottom rope.
I see that.
I don't think she gets into the figure 8, but I could see her getting into the figure 4 and either grabbing the rope or reversing.
The figure 8 would just be a step too far. She can't have that, but she can have the figure 4. That's fine.
If Charlotte hits the figure 8, it's over.
Yeah, I think it's over.
As soon as she locks it in,
it's like in the 2000s, the Triple H, the pedigree, you knew it was it. I was like, oh shit.
Over under how many moonsaults are attempted in this match?
5.
Yeah, it's actually a good. I think we set the number at 4.5, and I'm gonna take the over.
I'm
taking. What are the chances Charlotte, decides to do her twisting moonsault where she touches no one, instead of just a regular moonsault to the floor where she touches no one?
Can't even put that as a bet. It's too likely. It's just
yeah.
We'd lose too much
Yeah,
money.
you're getting bad odds on that. It's minus 1,000.
The odds just aren't in the favor there. It's like predicting the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl at any point. It's just it's too likely. The odds are too good. But this next match, the main event, CM Punk finally gets his main event. Unfortunately, it's fucking
not the main event of WrestleMania. What?
Fraudulent. It's a fraudulent main event.
Yeah.
However, he will be played to the ring by his Living Color band, so that's okay. CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns. This is a big time match. Chris Bourdin, what does this look like?
I think it's gonna be pretty good. I've been high on this ever since it was like floated out there that this was the Mania match. I just like the idea of these 3 top guys who all just can't fucking stand each other and just want to beat the shit out of each other at WrestleMania. I do feel I think they've done obviously the work with Punk and Seth throughout since Punk's return has been good. And the story with Seth and Roman has been good. They other than the Heyman stuff, like the Punk to Roman side of that triangle, never got to where I wanted it to go. And maybe they're maybe they're saving it for a singles match down the line. But yeah, no, I'm excited for this. I kind of feel like Seth is going to win. And I know this has kind of been floated out by a bunch of people online, but that, Heyman ends up screwing both Punk and Roman and ends up siding with Seth. But I don't know. I could see, you can never count out Big Rome, especially because he did the JOB last year. So,
2 in a row.
But it's a triple threat, so he doesn't even necessarily have to get pinned. So there's that. But I'm gonna go ahead and say Seth is gonna win.
Yeah. I'm not so sure about Seth because there are 2 guys in this match that I'm not so sure will be doing the JOB. I'm not so sure if you can get them to agree to it. Kaden Lee, do you agree with Seth or you think it's going somewhere else?
I don't know. I don't have an answer. I haven't been able to pick who I think is winning this.
You're on the spot
I'm
now.
gonna talk about how I feel about the match, and hopefully I have an answer by the end of this. So I think this build is really bad. I don't think the matchup's going to be. I don't think the match is going to end up being good. Unfortunately, I'm also workshopping a bit. So instead of Second City Saint, I call him the Sad City Saint.
Okay.
Bob.
A little stolen valor there from Bob. I'm not gonna lie to you.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
I think we need a little more repetition of it before it really catches on. But you know,
Okay. Good. I
Keep
got
working
something.
at it.
Yeah, I just think like the whole idea of CM Punk being like, "Oh, you got your Mania main event." I just think it's like, I think everything is lame. Why would you want a Mania main event if you're not even challenging for the title? I feel like that's what you would actually want. And then also like the custody of Paul Heyman. Yeah, I just like I'm not intrigued by it. I think yeah, I think Seth Rollins is gonna win this. I think it makes sense. He lost to Punk on that Raw. And then who won the steel cage?
Punk.
Seth did technically.
technically
yeah,
Seth
Roman
won.
pulled him out.
Punk kicked out of like 8 finishers. He won.
Yeah. No, I think Seth getting a pin over Roman is like the right decision to do there.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting.
would
Do you think that he does it with a shield chair?
Probably.
Oh, lore, maybe one would say.
Probably.
Bob, I know you've been throwing your ones up a lot this week. You've been scrolling the timeline every time it comes up. Hit those ones in the sky. Will you be hitting those ones to the sky at the end of this match, brother?
No, I will not. I actually think that CM Punk is going to win, and you know the build has been kind of bad, and I wish there was some more stakes to it other than Paul Heyman's love, you know, like a title or something. But like the match itself should be okay, hopefully. And I mean, yeah, it is kind of hollow. Like it's not a WrestleMania main event; it's triple threat and whatever. But like, I think Roman is not going to be there after this weekend for quite some time. I think that's a safe bet. And then it comes down to who do you believe can politic better between Seth and Punk. And Kaden, I'm gonna be honest with you. If Seth pins Roman to win this match, I don't know. I'll do whatever you want. Honestly, I owe you a favor. All right, that is crazy.
Clip that.
No way, man.
That's a clip.
Insane.
Whatever. I mean, that would be insane. So I think it's a safe bet to make, but it is whatever he wants. I don't know, man. That seems a dangerous game to play.
I'm taking. I have no stakes in this match. I'm taking it.
He's put nothing on the line.
Yeah, Punk's gonna win.
Interesting. You did mention you think this match will be okay, but I do have to wonder. And Oracle, this is a question posed to you. This is from Lord Lambo. Over under on 4.5 minutes of combined stare down time. This could hinder that match if you're taking the over.
Well, it depends on what you consider stare down, because if you're talking about cinematic time, certainly over, because there'll be all sorts of fucking Hamlet soliloquies from Roman and shit and Seth that will be totally just borderline, unwatchable. But yeah, I mean that's certainly over if you consider that. If it just stare down, I'd say about 2.5 minutes. But if you include the actual cinematic bullshit, that's certainly 5 minutes or more.
Oh yeah, easy. Maybe 10 or more. I don't know. It's very scary.
So Roman's not winning this match. But I do not believe that he's taking the pin either. So it's either Seth pinning Punk or Punk pinning Seth. There's a hilarious scenario that I'm with Bobby and would be shocking because it'd be hilarious if Punk were allowed this to happen. Where Heyman gets in the ring and does the Shield chair shot to both Roman and Punk and like weeps while he does it. as his favorite of Seth Rollins. That would be like the most like amusing finish I'm going to go with who politics better on the safe side and go with Punk, though I think the Rollins outcome is less crazy than Bobby would think and others would think. But I will, because there's a way to, I mean, Punk would have to take like 75 finishers or some crazy thing, but maybe that happens. I'm going to go with Punk. I don't know. Yes, I'm going to go with Punk. I think there's an outside chance that in the coming months, Punk with Heyman, Punk kind of turns heelish. And like has like a Jey Uso title match or some shit. But of course, I don't see him wrestling. Jay's going to end up beating some other mid carders, unfortunately, today. But I don't know. There's the one interesting outcome about this match is because I haven't liked the custody of Paul Heyman stuff is just like it's not for me. Like some individual segments I've liked, like the contract signing I really liked a lot. The MSG cage match and the post match was great. But there's just like the overall, just like it's just not doing it for me. The match being about Paul Heyman has frustrated me. I wish it was more about what it started out as, which is three guys that hate each other, and now it's more about Paul Heyman. And that's annoying. The outcome of this match interests me because whoever wins is going to have a big effect on. Now, it's not one of the most important matches in the history of the company, which is what dumbfuck freaking said on Monday. But it does present an interesting situation where the winner of this match it matters in the sense of like where they go on the main event Raw side. After Mania weekend.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I've already picked the smaller shark in Tiff Strat. I think I'm following your same logic. I think CM Punk gets it done. I think that actually ties into the result of our night 2 main event in a certain way. But before we jump over to night 2, I would like to mention if you guys would like to watch a grin along to WrestleMania night 1, we have that book 7 p.m. Eastern time. It is myself, Brainbuster Marcus, Manny the Hooper, and Dukes. Covering night 1. That'll be free and live right here on this channel, 7 o'clock Eastern on Saturday. Make sure to tune in. Bob, you're on night 2. Yeah. You can't get both. It's a double book. It's only Bus gets double bookings. It is what it is, man. I hate to tell you, this is political power here. We play Minecraft sometimes.
I wasn't invited to either, Caden, so I don't feel bad.
Look, man, it's late.
I will jump on for what it's worth to put myself over because I got to do that. I will jump on at the end of each show, unless the boys are really tired and want to get out of here. I will jump on and give my thoughts for the last 10, 15 minutes of each grin along.
That is true because it's Easter, so it's kind of put you in a dangerous spot. But we still need you on there in some way. We'll definitely be doing that afterwards. And before we get to night 2, I should mention that if you guys are enjoying this video, there is one and only one thing you can do. Bob, what would that be?
You go ahead and smash that like button. This is going to be the 3rd time, so you're good to do it again. Odd numbers, things of that nature.
Yes, and again, folks, we covered this earlier in the show, but be cautious. It's not like this. Like this. It's this way, just so you all know. Let's head over to night 2 with the women's
similar
tag
to
team.
what the president of the United States will be doing when he after he puts the U.S. title over.
Very similar. We've seen. We'll have to we'll remind the people when it happens after the U.S. title match. We'll have to remind it's a whole relation thing. But night 2, women's tag team titles. It's Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. I feel like this match might have been a little different at a couple different points leading up to Mania, but I'm not necessarily angry or disappointed at the result we got to in any huge way. I'm curious, Bob, if you feel the same.
Yeah, I do. It kind of feels like it got thrown together a little bit because the past couple weeks they really ramped it up and obviously did the gauntlet, and now we're here. As far as the match itself, I think it'll be fine. It's hard to still try and find logic for these titles, 6 years in, but like it feels like if Liv and Raquel win, then they just beat the team that beat all the other teams. You just killed the entire division again. Which think what you want about the division, but like I think Liv and Raquel probably do need to lose for the little story that they told here to make sense.
It's interesting because you do have to factor in Lyra is the women's Intercontinental.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
That's the tough scene. Maybe you don't want to double belt her. But I do think she has been fantastic over the course of this year in those title defenses on Raw. I think she's the work rate wrestler in the Federation right now, and I've very much enjoyed it. Oracle, curious if you feel the same.
Yeah, shout out to Pam and Liv, man. That Bailey Liv match on Raw fucking ruled.
Good match.
I've agreed with a lot of people that Liv Morgan has gotten better, but like she's legitimately gotten to be pretty damn good now in the ring. I actually, the wild card here is, Bailey's a little bit slower than she used to be, right? But like she still knows how to put the match together really well. Raquel's the wild card. Sometimes Raquel can work her spots. Like she did very well in that title change a couple months back which was a really good match when Raquel and Liv won the belt.
Great match.
But she's a wild card. I think this match might be really good. I'm a little bit more confident in it. When this match was first rumored, and then they won the gauntlet, I was very concerned about the placement of this match, as well as just like the crowd not caring. I think I still think placement matters a lot here, but honestly, if they get things going, I think they could have a really good 13, 14-minute match here. But
Kaden, what's going on? You're popping.
Oracle, who was it on the WrestleMania preview show y'all did that said Natalya was going to show up in the cornrows?
That was Alex.
Natalya has shown up in the cornrows.
Yes.
Oh my god!
Yes.
What a time to be alive!
Into ponytail. She has them all done there, and then right around this part of her head, it becomes a ponytail.
That's awesome.
That's incredible. That rules.
I popped. So I was trying to let Oracle finish his thought, but I popped so fucking hard.
That's great.
That's so sick.
I'm gonna have to at least figure out a way to watch that. But that's one of the 3 indie matches I wanted to watch all weekend. But I think Liv and Raquel will actually retain here. And then I agree with that. I think it was Jake who said in the chat that it'll be Liv and Lyra for the IC in an IC title feud.
Yeah, I actually agree with that. I think that's a great IC title feud to come out of Mania with. I mean, there's going to be some great matches in that one. And I'd also like to take this opportunity to pull up Natty Neidhart.
Oh my god.
in the shooter gear. What a time stands still, brother. I think it was Brainbuster who mentioned this. They've ran that match, her and Miyu Yamashita, for the past 13 years. So I really hope that's good. They've practiced it plenty. Kaden, you're popping at the corners. Are you popping at this match, brother?
Yeah, this will be good. Liv's been really good. Lyra has been really fucking good this year. And I like Pam. So I'm excited to see what they do here. I checked to see if Lyra and Liv had ever worked each other. They have 2 singles matches that I could find. Both were dark matches after SmackDown in September 2024, October 2024, when Liv had the WWE Women's World Title. So they have at least some experience, just hasn't been televised yet. So I think this is a good feud. You let Liv and Raquel get the win here, retain the belts, and then you can run Lyra and Liv as a nice little program for the next month or so.
Yeah. Chris, you feel about the same?
Yeah, Liv rules, Pam rules, Lyra rules. God, I'm
Raquel
blanking
looks
on-
good in sunglasses.
Raquel's fine.
I
But
mean,
Joe Holbert once said, "So it's good sunglasses."
yeah,
true.
I don't see them double belting Lyra, so I think
Mhm.
the champs are going to retain here.
Hmm. I would have to agree, and I really do like the Liv and Lyra outcome of this match. So I hope that's what we get. And I think there's a lot of hope for a couple of names, a lot of intrigue to see who we might get for the Randy Orton Open Challenge on WrestleMania. This has not been announced, but it does seem to be on the card. There's not been a match announced. I truthfully don't have any idea who this could be, but there's a couple of names that have been floated about. Let's start with you, Kris. Let's go right back. Who do you think this could be?
It's not going to be who I wanted. I really wanted the Aldis match.
So
but
did Joe Holbert.
Yeah, yeah, but I don't. They would have just made that match. They're not going to do it through this.
Yeah.
I imagine it's going to be one of the returning, whoever, whether it's Alistair or Rusev or one of these returning fellas. I think is going to be who it is.
Yeah. I could see that happening, but there is another returning name. It was from a long time ago that they did this, but there is like a returning name that they could always go to. Bob, you know him well. I'm not so sure if you'd get the president to work a match like this, but it's always possible. Do you have any names in mind for this match could end up being?
No, I mean, in all seriousness, it doesn't. The thing about Rusev, like, he shouldn't come back and lose. I know Aleister Black might be back soon. Like, maybe Jeff Hardy, but people want to see him come in and win too. Like, he's faced Randy before; they can pull it off. I mean, Solo kind of made sense for as much as I don't want it to be Solo. Like, he's a heel who could take a loss, and I think Randy is going to be in a big spot at Backlash in St. Louis next month. So it's someone that you want him to be able to beat without fans getting mad. So like, Solo kind of does make sense, but yeah, I don't know. I'm going to go with Jeff Hardy. Just be different.
Jeff Hardy. That's not actually a name I've heard floated about, but man, I'd be into it. Why not? I mean, what else you got to do, Kaden?
Tetsuya Naito.
Hell yeah. Oracle, do you think it's Naito?
No. So, all this would have been my pick too, but like Kris said, they would have had to have booked that prior to. Solo, I think, is the best option. I think Rusev's the most likely. I think Jeff Hardy's actually a good shout and actually kind of a decent chance that happens too.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd rather it be Jeff than Rusev. And like, if Rusev loses, it's not like a huge deal as long as Jake said, as long as I give him a push afterwards. But I mean, it's not. It's I mean, there's a dumb fucking charge, but it's not Vince. I mean, he'll get pushed, but I don't know. I'd rather it just be. I'd rather even. I mean, the crowd would be pissed, but like, I'd rather just be like Ludwig Kaiser and have him get fucking RKO.
That's the thing. I think if you're gonna do the open challenge, it's got to be someone who isn't on TV currently. Whether that's someone who's like, if you do just like if you do Solo or something, like just announce the match at that point.
Correct.
Yeah,
I'm with you there.
Yeah.
Now hold on. Ethan Page. All ego.
Wouldn't be terrible. I think Sami Zayn is also a really good shout.
He's not doing anything on this card.
No, yeah, he's been off TV since he wrestled.
Oh yeah, because he had the I remember now the closing.
I think there's like a way you could get around it considering Sammy's character.
Yeah, but why would he fill in for a dude who just kicked his ass and put him on the shelf?
I mean, depends on the way. You don't have to portray it as like I'm fighting for Kevin's honor. You can just say, like, still as a person, you still feel for Kevin, and you saw the opportunity, so you're gonna step in and make sure that Randy still has enough. You can do it in like a respect way of you lost your opponent, so why don't we have a nice little wrestling match?
That wouldn't be crazy. I also do like this idea. Just kind of wrap this up. Don't have an at. What if it's Kaiser? Or I think you can substitute Solo in there no matter what. Orton beats either of them, and then Aleister Black or Miro comes out after the match. And that's setting up something coming out of the show. You do kind of wonder if St. Louis backlash coming soon. So is that big?
I think Randy's facing Cena backlash. So I think I think whatever they do needs to be like a one night only.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of good names that are floated out there. I'm very interested to see who that would be, just because there's so many. But I know there's one man of the Grin who is not interested in our next match. Very unfortunate business for our good friend Joel Holbert, who has to watch AJ Styles take on Logan Paul. What a sad match for AJ, man. Very, very sad. There was going to be someone left with Logan Paul, and it's unfortunate it has to be AJ. I'm going to go with you, Kaden.
Oh, fuck.
You have to tell me.
I wish I was at WWE World just so I could have thrown the chair at Logan Paul's face. Would have been a good time. I really think this comes down to if Uncle Allen has re-signed. I think if he has not re-signed his deal, then Logan Paul is winning. I think if he has, then AJ Styles is winning. I don't know anything. Need to make that clear before I say this. I just don't think he's re-signed yet. Just because I think we'd hear something about it. Like I think Sean or someone would at least report something like, oh, we heard maybe people will be talking about it at least. So I think Logan's gonna win. Not like super confident about it. I don't particularly like care too much, to be honest, but it'll probably be a good match. AJ Styles is a good wrestler. Fucking Logan Paul is a piece of shit, but like unfortunately is a very good in-ring wrestler. So it'll be entertaining at least.
Well, he's a very good athletic guy. I'm not so sure if a moonsault sells me enough, but AJ's good enough. Like you said, I think he'll carry this match to be pretty damn good. Bob, do you agree?
I do actually. I think it should be a pretty good match. I think Logan might just win either way. It seems like he wins more often than he loses, so it's just like whatever.
Yeah.
I guess. It'd be cool for AJ to have like a signature WrestleMania match. I know the Shane match is pretty good, and like the Boneyard match is fun, but that's different, And the match with LA Knight last year was good, but he hasn't had like a truly phenomenal, WrestleMania match yet. So yeah, I hope that's here for him. I think it is going to be a good match, but yeah, I think Logan's going to win.
Interesting. That would pop someone at ringside. Not Joe, but the other guy. Chris Bourdine, excited for this one?
Excited is a strong word. I do think it'll be a good match. But my gut tells me Logan Paul wins. It all depends on what they have lined up for each guy coming out of Mania. And but my gut says Logan Paul wins.
My gut may be lying to me, but it is very much hoping that AJ Styles does not sign a deal with this company and comes to wrestle Will Ospreay, which I'm sure that you'd be so pumped for, Oracle. Are you just as excited for this match as you would be for that one?
Sure. I mean, this match is like, I don't really, it'll probably be good, but it's been like a stop and, pause build because Paul's schedule or whatever. So, I mean, it's not really, I don't know. I'm 50-50 on who wins. I can see either guy winning. Safe bet's probably Logan Paul. So I'll just go with that. But, I can honestly see either guy win. I think this match will be pretty good. I think night 2 looks pretty good. I think it's the first time maybe ever in the 2-night Mania format. Last year ended up being a better show, but I don't know if it looked better on paper. This night 2 card looks better on paper, so I think every match to a degree, even though with all the flaws of them, each match has something that I think can come from it that's positive. Whereas I don't necessarily think that for all the matches on night one, whereas night two, I think that there's something that can be entertaining for each match here. But yeah, I think this match will be pretty good at least.
Yeah, there's a little bit more worry in all the actual in-ring on night one. But night two, I really don't have any worries with any of these matches, especially our next one, which is for the Intercontinental title. Braun Breaker defends against Finn Balor, Penta, and Dominic Mysterio. This is going to be a wild fucking match. I have no idea what this looks like. I just know it'll be hectic. And I'm pretty sure that Breaker retains, but there is a lot of momentum behind Dom right now. Chris, are you with that momentum or are you with someone else?
I think it's either Dom or Penta.
Wow. No Breaker retain?
No, because I think they should be getting him ready for bigger and better things.
That's probably true.
I mean, they got time. I mean, right now, if you ask me, he would be my Rumble winner next year.
There you go.
So you got time, I guess. But yeah, I would just I would go ahead and put it on either Dom or Penta here. But yeah, I think this is going to be a lot of fun. Just a bunch of, Braun just going crazy, running around, spearing everybody. Lots of chaos. So I'm really looking forward to this one.
Yeah, I think of those two, Dom or Penta, I think Penta's gotten himself really, really overlaid. I think he's been having pretty good matches as well. Oracle, who do you see coming out of this one with the win?
I think Dom's going to win his first singles title, World Wrestling Federation. I think he's going to either steal the win from Finn or pin Finn himself.
Judgment Day lore.
This will lead to the long built to Finn Dom feud for the all the SC title. Penta will not take the pin whatsoever.
No.
I could see Braun getting pinned by Dom if like Braun gets hit with like Penta's finisher, then the coup de grace, and then like Dom throws Finn out and then steals the pin.
Yeah.
But I think Dom should win this match actually. And I think this match is like when they first announced it, I was with a lot of people. I trashed it. It's not really a Mania match, but I think it will be really fun. Penta's super over. Braun is super exciting to watch. Very Goldberg-like in his offense and whatnot.
That spear
Dom
the other
is
night.
like the only true heel in the entire company. And, Finn, 44-year-old Finn is not,
He's doing his thing, bro.
he's just, he's still got good abs. But like,
True.
yeah, this will be a fun match. I think Dom comes out with the IC strap here.
Yeah, I don't think that's too crazy. And I know there's one man on our panel who's been paying attention to Finn Balor's abs. Caden Lee, what are your thoughts on this match going in?
Not just the abs, brother. I need the trunk back so bad. Like, look, trunks back Sunday. They're not going to be, but if they were, I would buy TKO stock.
Jesus.
I don't know. I had to put something on the line for that. Like, I need it, so I got to put something out there. I think Dom's winning. I think Dom or Penta as well, but like I'm leaning Dom. Pinning Balor, I think, is like the right decision for the story rather than because I just don't think Braun should be getting pinned, even if he gets hit with multiple finishers and the pin gets stolen. Penta is gonna say no. So I would let. I think Finn's fine to take the pin. I don't think Big Ferg cares that much. Yeah. Dom and Finn's gonna be like a fine feud for the next month or two, and then you can let Penta beat Dom eventually if that's the route you want to go, which I think like SummerSlam could be a good route to go there. The match when we heard about it made me giggle. And I think it's like it was never the right decision because Braun and Penta 100% should have been a singles match on the show, but it's still probably going to end up being pretty decent depending on how it's agented, and I think it'll be done fairly well. It'll be exciting. Like, these are just exciting people to watch, even if Finn's in that like 3 1/4 era. It's a 4-way, so it'll cover up some of the issues.
Yeah, he'll probably look much better here than he does in any of his singles matches because that's just kind of how it goes sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't disagree that a singles match would have excited me more, but this is still a very exciting match. I think there's a case for everyone here to retain or to win the belt, other than Pin Balor, as many would call him. Bob, have you ever called him Pin Balor?
I don't think I have, actually. It's a good one, though. I like
What do you think's gonna win?
I actually do think it's going to be Penta. I don't think the Finn and Dom stuff needs the title around it. I think they're going back to Penta and Gable. I really do. I think that's the end game for that. And I'm with Chris that it's time to start heating Braun up. He's kind of outgrown that title a little bit.
Do you think the a Penta and Gable match is mask versus match? Mask versus mask, I mean.
Yeah, probably.
That'd be pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie to you.
What would a mask versus match be? Would there be like a match with light on fire? That would
Yeah, that'd be it. That'd be it.
You know what it is? You light your mask on fire, and then you have to finish the match before it. You know.
No, hold on.
That sounds like a really crazy death match. You know, that's probably not safe.
A little time limit action. Hold on. That doesn't sound too bad. But that sounds like a much more dangerous match than what the Sin City street fight is going to be between Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest. I have a lot of thoughts on Drew McIntyre lately. None of them very good. So I'll leave it to Bob to spill those out. Thoughts on this one?
You know, I'm glad they added the stipulation to it. I think that's going to do a lot for it because there wasn't much here before that, honestly. Like, it'll be fine. You know, it's kind of uninspired, I think. Another one where it feels like plans change at some point for whatever reason. Yeah, I mean, the whole street fight thing doesn't really make sense unless Priest wins because it's just kind of a babyface match that, you know, but I don't know, man. Like, I think it'll be a good time. It's kind of the match I'm least excited for on night 2, I think, but I still do have pretty high hopes for it just because it's street fight. You know, they'll go out and do their thing and it'll be fine. But, like, I don't know. It feels uninspired.
It definitely does. And the build it didn't improve that at all.
No.
Like, it didn't make anything better. The stip does, but the build definitely doesn't. I'm definitely more excited to see AJ Styles wrestle, even if he's wrestling Logan Paul over this match with very little to fight for. Oracle, thoughts on the build going into this match? And then the match
I'm reminded of a basketball player who was a very exhilarating playoff player. He's had many great moments, some buzzer beaters in his career, but has never won an NBA title. Oh. He's still chasing one. He's now on the Milwaukee Bucks. Man is named Damian Lillard. There's a professional wrestler by the name of Damian Priest who no one would claim is the best worker in the business or the best worker in the company. But my God, is he a big match worker aficionado? You know,
that's true.
This big match Dame is something. You know, he's the Dame time of the World Wrestling Tournament. I mean, this guy can go out here and just have a fucking. I mean, the Bad Bunny match. I mean, the street fight at Payback 2023. He was great in War Games 2023. Great at Clash of the Castle against Drew in a straight up title match. Great against Gunther at SummerSlam last year when he lost the title, the world title. Great against Finn Balor, you know, when Fergal doesn't give a shit anymore in a street fight on Netflix. This match is probably going to be great. You know, I think this is, you know, the feud sucks, but this was the perfect match to throw a stip on, you know. You know, the only other match of the entire weekend that would have made more sense or as much sense probably would have been New Day Viking or whatever the fuck they're called now. The War Experience. How about that? That's a new Viking experience. Like, yeah, I think this will be really good. Actually, I think Drew wins. I think Drew gets another Mania win. I think Drew pulls this one out. Of course, I'm starting to pick a lot of heels going over here, but you know, whatever. But yeah, I think this is a blast. I think this is one of the more fun matches of the weekend. I think I'm gonna go with Drew.
I think you bring up a great point with Damian Priest. It does tend to be forgotten how much he shines under those bright lights. And if there's anyone that would know anything about shining under the bright lights, it's you, Chris Bourdine. What are your thoughts on this match going into it?
I'm a big fan of both these gentlemen. The build hasn't been good. But I want to see what they do in a plunder match. Shout out to Drew for getting that Project Rock sponsorship. But yeah, this is another one where it's like it all depends on what they do after Mania. Like I could totally see Drew chasing or going after Jey post Mania and kicking that back up. So I'm gonna lean Drew, especially because Priest got the better of Drew at last year's WrestleMania. So Drew gets the upper hand this year.
Gets his get back, one would say. Kaden Lee, you on that same kind of thought?
Novi. Look, here's the thing. One, I want to say something. Like, I'm sure this match is going to be good. I'm building this like really big house right now in Minecraft that requires a lot of wood, and every once in a while I gotta like log in and go chop down all my trees and replant the saplings so I can get it going again. So
as you do. When
I see the video package, the 10-minute video package come up, I'm gonna load up my launcher. I'm gonna log into the realm. I'm gonna go do my planting. Come back. I think the match will probably be done by then.
You're a nasty guy, you know that.
Like, I just don't care. Like, I'm sure it's gonna be good. I just don't have much of an interest in Drew McIntyre in Big 2025.
Yeah, I mean, his social media activity is something to consider when it comes to that. But I'm not.
Yeah, I just don't like. I'm sure it's gonna be like. In all honesty, I probably will end up just watching the entire match, and it's gonna like likely be one of the better matches of the show. I think Drew should win. Damian got like Drew did win last year, but Damian did the cash in, so I think Drew deserves like actually having like a decent moment at Mania, especially because the last few months he's just kind of been not treated the way he should have been following the Punk feud, even if I don't think he's been like that interesting in what he has been given. So be good.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go with Damian Priest. I just would like him to win. It's more interesting to me in some ways. I don't know. Just why not? Just so you all know, night 2, Grin along. If you hear a lot of clicking and clacking, if you look behind Kaden Lee on that monitor that reflects his current monitor in front of him, and you see anything relating to Minecraft,
oh my god, you can see Bloodsport through my monitor.
You sure can. And I'm just want to shift a little bit to the right.
There we go.
Very scary. Very scary. Oracle's watching the whole time and he kept focusing on it. I just don't know what to even say about that. But I think there's a lot to be said about the women's.
Back, the platform's been shit canned.
We've been taken down by Josh Barnett, Bloodsport. Fuck.
To be fair, it's done that during AEW pay-per-views, I assume, as well, and we've been fine. So
you're not supposed to say that. You're supposed to just let it happen. Maybe post-show let us know. We've never done that. We've always hidden the screens on every possible way. But as I was saying, there is a lot to be excited for when it comes to the women's world title 3-way between Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, and Bianca Belair. I haven't loved this build as a whole. But one thing I can say is that these 3 women feel like the biggest stars in the world whenever they face off. Whenever they scrap, it feels like a fight I want to watch. So I'm really, really looking forward to this. This is probably my most anticipated match on Mania. It's 3 big stars battling out for a title. I think that's real shit. Oracle, would you agree?
It's easily my most anticipated match this coming weekend. I'm very excited for it. I think there's a chance that it could be a classic, Mania classic. Triple threat matches are hard to come by in terms of classics. We've had some at Mania even, but so I don't want to, I'm not entirely confident about that. I'm pretty sure it'll be good. I think the crowd will be super hot. It's going to be interesting because Rhea is going to get huge cheers from the women. And Io is going to get big cheers from the guys. And Bianca, weirdly enough, is going to be booed because she's been booed in this feud. She'll get some cheers from kids and whatnot. But, I think Bianca's stealing the win here. I think she's going to maintain her Mania undefeated streak. I think it's going to be a good to great match, possibly a classic. Like I said, I'm very excited for this. Lots of big, dramatic WWE epic moments, all that jazz. I think it's going to be just awesome. I think Io is going to have a breakout performance. I think Bianca Belair is coming out as a champion. And I think there's going to be a not an immediate one, but over the course of 2025, by the end of the year, I believe Bianca Belair will be a heel champion, or at least a heel by the end of the year. Maybe she might not have the belt, but she will be a heel by the end of the year. But she will have the belt at the end of WrestleMania. I do think she wins the title here.
I think that would be a fantastic direction for her character to take. I feel like it's needed a little bit of a shakeup for a minute now. I think that would be the right way to go. So I'm definitely with you with Bianca coming out as champion. Bob, do you feel the same?
No, I'm actually picking Io to retain. I think they've both been overlooking her, and
that's what I want to happen, by the way. So.
I do think eventually one of them will get the title, because if they're doing Evolution 2, it feels like that match as a singles is your main event. But I think Io's winning on Sunday.
Wow, I definitely wouldn't be mad at it. I love Io Sky.
That would have a huge. That would have the pop for that will be a mega pop if she wins.
Yeah, dude, she's gotten a crazy swell of support, and she was already loved by the audience. But her being like the little brother of this three-way has helped her a lot in terms of like crowd connection. But I love Io Sky, so I'm totally down with that. Chris, what would you like to see coming out of this match?
I really don't have a preference. I'm fine with any of the three winning. It probably won't be Rhea. So it's either Io retaining or Bianca winning. This is the match, like out of the two triple threats, this is the one I wouldn't say down on. I just was really wanting to see the Rhea Bianca one-on-one match. Mm-hmm. So when they had Io win the belt, I was a little disappointed. I mean, I love Io, so it's not anything against her. I was just really looking forward to that one-on-one match. I agree. The build has not. This is probably for the caliber of match. This has probably been the worst build.
Logic just thrown out the window.
Yeah,
it's weird.
And I almost wonder if they felt that the crowd was going to react differently to the people involved with the way they built this. Because as much as I love Rhea Ripley, like, there's not really a way why she should be the one being cheered. It really feels like 2018 Becky Lynch a little bit, where like they wanted to turn her heel, but like the crowd was like, nah, we're good. Rhea's our person.
She's just too cool. I feel like it's tough.
She is. Like she's the one person that I like have to wait and watch their segments when my wife is around, because like she's, with this, she's the one that my wife's interested in. So, all that being said, like I said, I agree with Oracle. I could see Bianca stealing a win here. But I also agree with Bob that it kind of feels like Io should probably retain because she has looked a little like the little sister in all this. So, but I think it's one of those two.
Yeah, and this is a good point here from Big Fat Orange Cat. That can turn Bianca's streak into a thing where she simply hasn't been pinned or submitted at Mania, so that Io could win. That'd be a way of kind of like maintaining the streak vibe without ending it.
She was in one of the Battle Royals, wasn't she?
Bianca was in the 35 Battle Royal, right? Or was it 34 one? I think
it was 34. Yeah,
35 one.
Wow. So I guess there's more evidence to prove
they did that. They did it with Edge, because Edge didn't win the Money in the Bank at WrestleMania 23, but the next year when he wrestled Taker at 24, they were talking about how neither man had been defeated at WrestleMania. So
this could very easily be a route. I think in this entire sentence, I believe that Rhea should not walk out here as champion. I think it should be either Io or Bianca, and I'm curious to see, Kaden, if you feel the same.
I think Io should win. I think, if you just have Rhea take the pin, you can get away with it and just go, well, yeah, Bianca's never been pinned or submitted at WrestleMania, and the streak can still work. It's the World Wrestling Federation. They're known to lie about some things and skirt around. It's all fake, right? Like, you can tell the story you want to tell with the way you book things. So I think they can get around it pretty easily. Io just shouldn't be losing the title this early. I think she needs to have at least a few more months on this reign. I know a lot of people recently have been trying to have the conversation of, well, not every reign needs to be long for it to be good. However, I think sometimes adding length can help make it good and just letting things breathe a little bit. And so that's where I think we need to go with. I think they need to go with Io right now. There's some good feuds you can do with her during the summer. If you want to maybe call up Julia after Stand and Deliver, that's one that would be a really fun one to see later this year for the title. I think she's someone who could she's still finding her footing. That'd be a good one. There's a lot of good matches in that division that Io can have as champion. So I'm very excited. I'm very excited for the match in general. I think it's going to rule. And then I'm excited to see what happens if Io wins. I'm excited to see where she goes from here, getting out of the feud, because she's been stuck in it the whole time as champion. So
yeah, and you do have to think Io did lose her title at last year's WrestleMania. Do you have her lose her title again this year?
Yeah.
In back-to-back years, I feel like that's also a factor. And of course, as mentioned earlier, the rumors Evolution 2 happening later this year. So you do have to wonder what matches they'll try to put together for that, and if maybe they do run the Bianca and Rhea singles match there at that show rather than WrestleMania. You never really know, but this is one that has a lot of intrigue going in and going out to whoever wins. I think a lot of varied takes across the board, but I think we're all in agreement that Rhea should not walk out of here as champ. I think that'd be the least interesting option of the three. But I think there's intrigue in either one of the options in our next match. Our true WrestleMania main event. I mean, let's be real, Oracle. It's the real one.
That's true.
The WWE Championship. Cody Rhodes defends against John Cena, who has blamed the fans. It's all you people. It's your fault. Not mine. It's your fault. And this has been a very interesting build. Obviously, Cena hasn't been around for the whole time, only during that European stretch for 3 weeks or so, right? That's
3 weeks.
3 weeks he was around. So I don't know if they've gotten all the juice they could have out of this. And one thing you do have to think about, too, is whether Rocky has something planned for us. I'm curious, Chris Bourdine, where do you see this all going out?
I think Cena wins and gets 17. God only knows if Dwayne shows up. What started when the angle happened, I was very excited about it, and it's clear that until or unless he's ready to lock in and be part of something, I just don't want him coming around, because he just ruins everything and makes everything way more complicated than it needs to be. So they could have done this. They could have done the Cena heel turn without Dwayne's involvement, and it would have been much better. I would have held off and done it at WrestleMania. I would have had Cena do some sort of underhanded tactic to beat Cody and go from there, but they didn't. So this is what we're left with. But yeah, I think Cena wins.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good point, man. Cena not being around has really hurt this, in my opinion. And I don't think his stuff for over the 3 weeks were that. I thought the last week was pretty good, but the 3 weeks just didn't inspire me as much as I thought it would or hoped it would, really. And Kaden, you were with us on the Grin Along for all three of those shows that Cena was on.
Yep.
And I'm wondering if you kind of feel the same way.
Yeah, I understand wanting to do what they're doing with Cena. I understand main eventing with it. I understand that Cena's likely going to win the title. I think he is going to win the title. However, when you're building the WrestleMania main event, they've proven time and time again that not having someone actively on your television who was involved in that match is not a good idea. And it didn't end up being a good idea here, especially when you ran a major angle that needed a lot of follow-up to it. Like if this was just like Cena won the Elimination Chamber, he showed up on those 3 Raws, they did you have some basic promo stuff with Cody, you're fine, right? Like the story sells itself. But
if they're just doing generational good guy versus generational good guy.
Yeah. It's easy. It's so easy to get. You can get away with that really easily. It's the fact that they added the elements where it does cause some problems. I did really like, not really like, I liked more what they did in the 3rd promo. I'm curious to see if Cena shows up on SmackDown and they run like one last closing angle. I would like that to happen tomorrow.
He's advertised.
He was advertised. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, that'll be good. I hope Dwayne shows up there too. Rather than like, I think he will be at Mania with Travis Scott. But I would like some more connection to the Dwayne stuff being set up Friday rather than saving all of that for Sunday. Will this be good? I don't know. I'm not expecting it to be great. I think it'll be like adequate for a WrestleMania main event. I don't think it'll be better than either of the Roman and Cody matches, but I think it'll be better than the Brock and Roman match from 38. So that's about like, I have it between, I think that's a really big spectrum, but I have it like, I do have it sitting like somewhere in between those matches, depending on like how Cena goes. Cause it is Cena doesn't wrestle a lot of singles matches. So I'm interested in that aspect of like, I'm actually like very interested in how they like technically work this match.
Yeah. I mean, my big concern going into this was kind of Cena not being in rhythm. And I know Joe talks about it a lot, him not working matches and not getting in ring shape, which is different than just being in shape. It has me a little worried. I didn't think he was going to wrestle or anything. I kind of knew that, but still it's a little worrying. Bob, are you worried about the same way?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, there's a lot of questions, throughout this feud that still haven't really been answered, and I don't think even with whatever could happen tomorrow will be answered. Like, it's weird because it feels like no one is really all in on it, including Cena. Like, because it feels like, it's his last year. They're going to turn him back babyface at some point, so it's like he's not really bothering going all in with it. Plus, again, he's not really there. So, like, I think the whole thing makes even less sense if he loses, though. So he does have to win and, get 17 at WrestleMania, whatever. Like, that's obviously not ending the show on a super high note because he is a heel technically, but, grand scheme of things, it's still John Cena breaking the record and all that. So whatever. But, coming out of this, either they have to explain the Dwayne stuff, which hopefully they do, or he just needs to be around more, which, I mean, if he's champion and, we're 4.5 months into the year already, he probably has a good amount of dates left. So I guess I'm more interested in what comes after all this because it hasn't really been, and I didn't want it to be just babyface versus babyface because I thought that build would have been pretty boring, but like that would have looked like a home run compared to this, I think.
Yeah, it's just him not being around. That's what it always circles back to. I mean, you need to have time for a build on these shows, and especially because the first 2 weeks he was around, it's not like they were doing anything different. It was the same kind of thing for 2 weeks, and they switched it up in the third a little bit. It's a weird way to go about things, but I don't disagree that I am more interested in the result.
I'm legitimately shocked at how little he's been around for the lead in for his last WrestleMania.
Yeah. It's just kind of sad. It's a little disappointing.
It's very disappointing because I never expected him to be on TV every week for this last year, but like this is insane. Like,
yeah. I get that he had the schedule set for what I don't know what the movie is, but I'm like I get that it was likely set a while ago, potentially before he like agreed to do whatever the story is now. But that's at a certain point you got to be like, hey, like maybe this isn't the best idea. You change plans,
or you just go if you turn him at Mania, which would have been cool too. Bob, what were you saying?
Well, it's also like, SmackDown was in Chicago a couple weeks ago. They've booed him, the past 20 years. Like, just have him show up there at least, and at least he feels like a heel for once.
Or at least like you think back to the Cena Rock feud. Like Dwayne wasn't on TV every week, but at least he would do the via satellite gimmick and send do something like that. You know?
Yeah. You just wish there'd be a little bit more effort put in, but it's just how things have shaken out. Oracle, what are your thoughts on this one?
I mean, I think this has been a mess. You know, I love the turn at the time, but you know, he turns and it's Dwayne and Travis Scott vanish, and like Travis Scott's like whatever, you know. I definitely hope. I mean, like, I would pop me huge if Cody just like fucking pops him in the ear, you know. That'd fucking rule. You know, I think Rock and Travis Scott will be there at Mania. I think the problem is with like they do this turn and you know the Rock stuff's never explained and
barely mentioned.
It barely mentioned at all. I mean, it's just like, and then like the Cena stuff is like the promos are like okay, bad at times, good at other times. You know, he's only there for the European tour. Then he's not on TV for 3 weeks. You know, I'm sure they'll try to do something tomorrow night to kind of light up a little bit more of a spark into it. But this is just, you know, Cody versus Cena at this point speaks for itself. So it's still a huge match, right? Like Cena's last Mania match, it's big no matter how bad they've kind of muddled the waters here. Cena's going to win. I believe that. I think Cena will have programs with Orton. He'll have a program with Punk, potentially AJ as well, depending on his status. Then at some point he'll turn babyface, you know, later on in the year, which brings me to the point where we've kind of talked about this with this match, with the women's triple threat, with the main event of night one. Other than Jey sort of finishing his story, right? Everything seems like the post-Mania stuff. And this is not the first one that this has happened. There's been other Manias where I'm not sure I could pull one out of the hat right now, but there's probably been other Manias where coming into this show, it's more about what's going to happen afterwards. It's not a finale of sorts, right? Like last year was a finale, right? Like it was this long build of Cody finishing his story. It was a finale of sorts.
30
year, that's not the case. It's kind of you know what's going to happen next.
34 was very similar, I think.
With Brian coming back, with Ronda coming in,
35 to an extent too, I guess, just because they kind of reshuffle everything and
it's just interesting that way. You know, I don't know say it as a bad thing, although I prefer the Manias where it's kind of an end of a season, it's an end of the year. You know,
I think too. The end of a bunch of storylines.
I think they've always been the best Manias, but that doesn't mean this will be a bad Mania. There's been, you know. There have been great Manias that have been similar to this. But it is interesting to note that we're more kind of interested in what's going to happen after instead of the actual, show itself.
Especially when it comes to this match, you know, because I'm immediately thinking about Backlash because I'm immediately thinking of the Randy match. I think that CM Punk's going to win on night one. I'm immediately thinking about that match. And afterwards, I do kind of wonder what Cody does if he doesn't end up being the champion. I don't have an idea that really screams at me right now.
I kind of think there's a chance Cody takes maybe close to a month off and then comes back in May. You know,
could see that.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
Take Backlash cycle off kind of thing.
Right. Yeah.
I think he's back for Saudi.
I also want to point this out. I've complained about it a lot, but this is way too long to wait for WrestleMania. Guys, April 17th, April 18th almost. You know, I mean, it's ridiculous. It's way too late.
Yeah, they pushed the Rumble back 1 week and then they pushed Mania back 2 weeks. I'm like, that's not.
I think next year Mania is a week earlier already.
I think it's like the 12th or something.
Yeah. That's good.
I'm fine with it being then because that way it doesn't clash with March Madness. So
that's true. Yeah, true. True.
Yeah, but then it does if it is where it is now, then it clashes with Oracle's Easter Sunday, and
There you go. Yeah.
they
Come
should
on
never do
now.
that again.
Yeah.
Should never ever.
I
do
mean,
that
it's
again.
somewhat like, I'm not going to go into great detail about my, religious beliefs or whatever. I mean, I'm not super into all that stuff, but like, Easter's a tradition of my family. We get together, we go to church. My mom loves it, and we have Easter dinner and stuff. And look, my mom is certainly the matriarch in a lot of things when it comes to holidays, and she gets the wrestling thing. She's fine with it. Whatever. I'm going to get to see Mania live with the family. It'll be fun. But like, damn, man, can we not separate my, my family stuff with my, like, sometimes it's just like, this is just, it's a personal thing for me. Like, and I know there are other people that are having issues with it too. Chris, I saw you nodding your head a little bit. I don't know if you have some stuff you got to,
I mean, I
weekend,
really like. I mean, it was not anything I'll be able to be involved with anyway because I got to work Sunday. But yeah, I mean, Easter's big with my wife's family, so yeah, it's a big deal. So
yeah, I didn't think it was that. I didn't think much of it because it didn't affect me too much. Like I was definitely like, this shouldn't happen. But I was like, okay, it doesn't change my plans. Then I get told we're doing some kind of dinner on Saturday because my grandma's in town. I say, well, shit, I can't go to dinner with the grandma. I got to host the Grin. It's busy time. Sorry, Gram. It's unfortunate. Mania's on. And I don't want to have that happen again. We can't. That can't be next year. 1 week earlier. If that's what it takes.
It can't happen.
Yeah.
I live across the country from my entire family.
Small chance that they never run on Easter weekend again.
I would think there's more than small. I think it's a big enough collection of fans who have been like, that kind of fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Where they just wouldn't take that chance. And I guess the 1 year they should run it on Easter Sundays in Sin City. So, I guess it's fine. It's fine. It's funny. I
can say confidently, so we're good next year. It's not on Easter is the week before Mania. The year after 2027, Easter is in March. So I think we're good for Easter in 2027 as well.
It might be the year they do Indy, right? You think they'll do Indy in 2027?
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, probably.
I think I'm going to try to go to that. That's only a 5-hour drive from me. At least one of the nights. Any night one, at least.
Since it's near the East Coast, a small chance you could find me on one of those.
I'd probably do Indy.
Yeah, because Indy's like, it's kind of right there, But I think that covers it all.
43
Kaden?
is I think Nashville.
Oh fuck! Hell yeah, brother! That's a 2.5-hour drive for me. I'm definitely there. No
There
question.
you go.
Oh baby, Oracle's gonna have a night out on the town for WrestleMania nights 1 and 2
I'll
in
be there all
Nashville,
fucking
Tennessee.
weekend. That's easy as shit, dude. I could drive there from work on Friday. That's easy.
That's
You gonna catch all the indie shows, brother?
Depending on, see, the problem is with my job, it's a blackout week, Easter week. So if it's not on Easter, like if it's not Easter weekend, it's not Easter weekend, I could take a day off.
We'll have to see how it plays out in a couple of years.
Yeah, as we're just wildly going in. We're just trying to hit the 2-hour mark here. That's all.
We're just cooking. And to hit the 2-hour mark, and just to kind of close up the show, Kaden, are there any final thoughts you have on WrestleMania nights 1 or 2?
I'm not like super pumped for like the card in general and the build around it. However, it is still WrestleMania. I am still like overall excited to watch WrestleMania. The first time I guess it's the first time we were doing it on the Grin. I don't know if y'all did anything last year. But yeah, I'm excited to like at least watch night 2. Night 1, I'm going to watch with my girlfriend, and she's never watched a WrestleMania before. So I'm excited to see how that experience is. So, cause she's not a wrestling fan. So, getting 2 different experiences there. So I'm like overall, I'm very excited about the weekend, and it's still like just a very fun time. There's a good vibe in the air. There's negative vibes that have made me feel really positive today. So, we're riding the wave.
Hey, one negative for someone else doesn't mean it can't be a positive for you, brother. Chris Bourdine, any closing thoughts?
So a couple of weeks ago, my wife asked me, she goes, Are you or how did she put it? She's like, would you have rather we went this year instead of last year? Because we went to WrestleMania last year. And I said, honestly, no. And like I'm higher just card on paper. Like I think I like the card, but even with the warmer weather out in Vegas compared to last year, like last year, and especially being a big Cody guy, last year was like the be all end all for me. So that answered that question pretty quickly. But yeah, I mean, I know, especially like when we get the stage reveal, I know that's going to be the
Always fun.
yeah, that's going to be the hype is going to be in full at that point, and waking up Saturday, I know I'm going to be like, all right, it's Mania time, baby. Let's do this.
I'm going to get home from work on that Saturday. I'm going to grab me whatever choice of alcohol I decide to go with for the night, and I'm going to rock out with Mania the Hooper. Robert O'Neill, how are you feeling? Any closing thoughts on WrestleMania this year?
No, listen, it's not the buzz of, 39 or 40, but Oracle kind of got into it. Like, we've seen bad WrestleManias on paper. Like, this one's not bad. Just, it might not be great, but like, it's not, WrestleMania 11. It's not WrestleMania, pick any number of them, really. Like, there's enough talent here where it's going to be fine. And yeah, I mean, I'm going to be watching with some of my friends. I'm sure we'll have some beers and pizza and such. It'll be a fun time. Like,
real American beers.
No,
Bob,
but
question:
What's
Are
up?
you driving to the stadium, or are you taking the transit home?
Well, if I was going, I would drive my car like an adult. I would have had my car out in Vegas. I didn't have it for SummerSlam. It sucked.
It wouldn't have mattered in Philly. You still would have been waiting in the parking lot for 2 hours. So
Listen, I waited like an hour to get out of MetLife, but I wasn't there all night waiting for a train or whatever. So
You're waiting on no fucking train. You're driving. What the hell? Your own fucking man. Oracle, any closing thoughts on WrestleMania?
Tomorrow, when I get off the shoot job, it'll be a busy day because it's a blackout week and busy holiday weekend and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Could get out as late as 8 or 9 o'clock. We'll see. We'll get in my vehicle and I will drive about 100 minutes south to Chattanooga, Tennessee. Join my family for Easter and Mania festivities.
Oh yeah.
I will be watching DVR SmackDown. I will be tuning in, possibly live at 1 a.m. Eastern Time to a Wrestling Federation's Hall of Fame.
Oh no.
I will be getting up at about noon Eastern Time, attempting to get up at noon Eastern Time on Saturday because I sleep in late and I'm a fool, to watch NXT Stand and Deliver. I will be enjoying time with family after that. And then about 6 o'clock Eastern Time, I'll try to convince everybody to turn on the pre-show, get geared up for WrestleMania Night 1.
5 p.m. Oracle. 5 p.m.
5 p.m. What, Eastern?
I think it's a 3-hour pre-show.
Yeah, well, no.
Does Mania start at 7 though, right?
But
it does.
I'm not gonna tell my parents to turn that shit on until
4 p.m. 4 p.m. Oracle launch the 3-hour
4 p.m.
pre-show.
Eastern, folks.
Until 6 p.m. Until 6 p.m. So, and then Sunday morning, I will get up and do Easter dinners. Have an Easter dinner in the afternoon and evening.
Mm-hmm.
We'll enjoy night 2 of WrestleMania. And because somehow luck has landed, the one positive, I did not have to request a day off because most years of WrestleMania, I take a day off. I don't have to this year because I don't work Easter Monday because second and third shift at my job does not work Easter Monday. So get to sleep in on Monday.
Wonderful.
And come home back to Knoxville and arrive to watch the Raw at WrestleMania a few hours before that. So I just gave you my whole Mania weekend. Trying to hit that 2-hour mark. We might go over a little bit to do some plugs, but other than that, we've made it.
I am wondering where you're going to find time for GCW in that schedule, but I'm sure you'll find a way to work it in there. And folks, just so you're aware, we here at the Grin will be live both nights of WrestleMania, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. grinning along to WrestleMania. Hopefully you spend your Easter weekend with us. And hopefully you spend it with Kaden, who will be on the Sunday show. Kaden, is there anything you want to promote?
Yeah, we haven't announced this yet, Novi, but 7 p.m. 10 p.m. Eastern, Friday night, Joey Janela's Spring Break Grin Along, baby. We're watching. No, we're not doing
We're not doing. Just going to give a little credit. We're going to clear the air. Welcome back, Hayden Lee.
That was funny. Yeah, I'll be on Sunday. Should be a fun little grin along with the fellas. Besides that, I don't think anything else is going on the next few days. I assume like if there's like a show that has like a match we want to watch, we could always just hop into the Discord if we're like, oh, let's just watch this. Which actually wouldn't be a bad idea to do for spring break if me and Novi aren't doing anything tomorrow. But spring break is still at least fun to watch.
Well, they do have the old person match, which will pop me.
Oh yeah, that'll be great.
That'll be pretty fun.
Yeah, I low-key like Sabu and Joey Janela. It's happening.
Psychotic match. Psychotic.
We might be in the Discord watching this. So yeah.
We might be in the Discord at any time. I do actually have a chunk of WrestleMania indie matches I want to watch, so maybe I'll just throw them onto the Discord at some point. But we'll see if my brain ever allows me to do such a thing. Chris Bourdine, what is going on in the base cover world?
Well, we are making our way through 1985, and has been mentioned, it's Easter weekend. Tomorrow is Good Friday, so tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern, my next base cover drops. It is Reach Out by Striper.
Oh baby. And where can people find that?
Chris's base covers on YouTube.
Just
type in musicandmoonsalts.com. It'll take you right to it.
There you go. Make sure to do that, folks. Robert O'Neill, Bob. Is there anything you want to tell the people?
I believe Good Grappler Paul London is going to be April 3rd or 29th, whatever that Tuesday is, the last Tuesday. I don't know what the flagship is next week. I think we need to wait till we get Joe back for that.
That is the all-time draft next week.
I'm
sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
I will probably be here for that then.
Hell yeah.
I love a draft. Yeah, so look for those two shows coming up, and also watch WrestleMania with Novi and Kaden and everyone.
Hell yeah. Oracle, hopefully you'll be joining us on both those WrestleMania nights, but is there anything you want to tell the people?
Yeah. First off, tune in with the fellas Saturday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, night 1, Sunday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, night 2. I will be joining in at the tail end of those shows. Once the main broadcast ends, I'll jump on, give my thoughts as we all react to the end of each evening. Paul London, Grin Grappler, will be April 29th, I believe, is the jotted in plan so far. At some point towards the end of the month, in the next week and a half or so, we'll do a Grindication.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
And also, probably the first weekend of May, somewhere around there, somewhere roughly, or around the first week of May have to be a weeknight. We will have the return of the School of Wrestling and Lucha title matches.
Beast.
So that will return in the very near future.
Wonderful. And again, folks, next week, the all-time draft that is any wrestler all time, as the name implies. That'll be a stack show. We're gonna hopefully get everyone on it. This
Friday
weekend,
the 25th, right? Sorry.
Yes.
Sorry,
yes. It should be, yeah, at the usual time slot as well,
11:05.
11:05. The Saturday WrestleMania Grin Along, I should note, is free on the channel. It'll be the flagship for this week, so make sure to tune into that. And then on Sunday, for Grinner Circle tier and above, we'll be live on that. So make sure to join LNG Gold for the show on Sunday. But folks, I hope you had a good time sticking with us. If you haven't already, make sure to leave a like on your way out, or as Bob would say,
smash that like button
on your way out. There you go, folks. It's been a great time. Hope to see you on Mania weekend, and enjoy your Easter weekend. Stay well, folks.